And then I have two 4.5-year-old identical twin boys.
Oh.
Wow.
That one loves to dance and one loves to sing, so he dances around them while he sings. So they'll be in the show next year. Mike, where'd you just do your show? You just did a show at
State Theater.
He was at the State Theater. He just did Joseph and Joseph there.
Oh.
And Mike, I've known for years.
Are you available August 30th?
He's doing Joseph. I think he needs a character
No,
an actor
he's
for.
doing How to Succeed in Business without really trying.
Oh,
August
really?
30th.
At the Strand again?
At the Strand.
Oh, that's great.
I can play the Robert Morris.
Oh, Robert Morris.
Yeah, the lead part.
You know more about theater than I do. I don't know all these
He
shows.
knows a lot.
Ready then?
I'm ready. I've been recording this conversation as a warm-up.
Hi, today we are here at West, like we're doing with Ron and Bob. But, how did you know you wanted to be a Broadway actor?
That's a good
At what
question.
age and what show made you want to
You want the truth?
do it?
When I was in 4th grade, we were doing the 12 Days of Christmas at school, and I got the solo line, 5 golden rings. And, you know, we got to the point of 5 golden rings. And after the show, the superintendent said that was an amazing rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas, especially the boy who sang 5 golden rings. So I figured I was better at that than sports. So even though I continued to play sports, I knew I had a voice. So that's when it started.
Was your parents supportive?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
they said, oh, get a real job?
On the way down here, I was talking to my mother because it was her birthday, and she said, don't you want to just come home and have an easy job rather than doing what you're doing? So even today, she gives me a hard time. But I think she's excited. They've been very supportive. As a family, we used to take long trips, and we'd all be singing in the car. My dad worked on the railroad. My mother worked at a bank. But we all had good voices. My dad had this kind of voice in the morning when he talked, the room would shake. I'd wake up as soon as he was up at 6 just to hear his voice. And so they've been very supportive, you know. And my mother's going to be coming out. I'm going to do at Lincoln Center next month with Emma Thompson, Sweeney Todd. I'm going to be in Sweeney Todd, which they're filming for television at Lincoln Center. It's March 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Yeah.
Emma on the ticket.
That's Jesse.
You want tickets? Well, I actually went on to look for tickets for my mother.
He doesn't want tickets. We can,
350 each, so I don't know who's going. You have to watch it on DVD
no,
like
it's
the
all
rest of us.
right. We'll take care of it.
I want to get one to me.
You know, give me your number. I'll see what I can do. You know, I know the guy who runs it, Lincoln Center, so we'll
No,
see.
Jesse's tickets are pretty.
Yeah, it's just a 2-week one, but I thought I'd do it because it's short.
No, I would like to go, but I don't want you to get my ticket. I get like
He
Broadway.
sees everything that we can
You
get.
see everything on Broadway, right?
He has.
It's a little, yeah. I mean,
he's-
it's very hard for us to get to Broadway living down here.
Oh, yeah,
Because it's
no.
an hour and a half, but we used to
Yeah,
live
I-
in Bergen, so we would go like every other month
Yeah.
to Broadway.
Just the tolls themselves are hard to come from down here.
At the-
But he actually saw Hairspray on Broadway 50.
With Harvey Firestein?
Yeah, he knows
With
Harvey.
everybody.
Harvey,
You do?
I know Marissa. I know Mary Von Davis.
Oh, wow.
But right. She
Yeah.
played Big Mama,
Yeah.
the original Big Mama.
Well, Harvey Firestein is in a show. I produced a couple shows on Broadway, and I produced a show called A Catered Affair, which Harvey wrote and starred in.
We wanted
His
to
last
see
name
it.
is really not Firestein, it's Fierstein, but don't tell anybody.
And then we got it.
Yes, it is still the whole thing. I haven't stopped.
Anyway,
Will you edit this out?
No, this is fine.
Anyway, when you got married, you did a show together, and you have 4 kids.
You research me.
How is it dividing up the time who takes what show and how do you say, I gotta take this job, you stay home.
Oh, you asked the tough questions, boy.
How do you know what shows to do together?
To be honest, my wife is a much more talented, much better looking, much better actress. Had she went and I stayed home with the kids, I would be living in a mansion. But she let me go do what I wanted, and she raised the kids. And it's kind of like she wanted me to go out and do it and let me enjoy it. My wife's an interesting person because she didn't start out singing. She didn't start singing to college. So like a lot of us grow up as young kids singing, you know, it's in our bones, it's in our DNA. If we don't do it, we don't feel fulfilled. When you hear it tonight, you're going to say, boy, she's the best one up there, which everyone says. And at the same time, she doesn't have to sing for people. She's happy with who she is as a person. So she let me go do it. She stayed with the kids, and then now I force her to come do these concerts because I want everyone to hear how good she is.
You are one of the two actors that left a play and came back. You played John Valjean and Marius. How is it leaving a show, then coming back, but doing a whole different blocking, a whole different part?
Yeah. It's very interesting. I was in this show originally in 1990 and stayed in it for 5 years. Met my wife, and I was Marius and she was Cosette, and we got married on stage a few hundred times. Got married in real life. The rest is history. And then when I went back to Les Mis, I wanted to play for Jean Valjean, but they knew me as Marius, so they wouldn't see me for a couple years. And finally, I did a show called The Civil War on Broadway, and I had to grow a beard, which finally I could at age 34. And so I grew a beard, and they saw me as Jean Valjean, and then they gave me that part, which was great for a few years on Broadway. Then I left again, and I started producing shows. And then another director came from England, and this was my fourth director I auditioned for, and he put me in Les Mis too. So I had 3 different directors hire me for the show. And it was exciting each time. The best thing was that I already kind of knew the words, so I didn't have a lot of work to memorize the words.
Yeah, like me.
You know every word?
I played things like 2 times already.
Yeah.
Plus Tackle Belly, which is just an executive. I won't need any.
Rehearsal.
Yeah, but since it's gonna be very easy.
I know.
In June.
Yeah. I've been looking at the words of Sweeney Todd, and I am completely lost. Tell the tale of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
His eyes were, I don't even know the next word. But I can tell you every word of Les Mis.
Is there a show that you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, I always wanted to do Miss Saigon.
They're bringing it back.
They are?
You know.
Well, I don't know if I still look young enough, but you know, I always wanted to do the show. Actually, when they gave me the role of Marius, they had auditions for Miss Saigon in Chicago, and I was in LA, and I flew back to Chicago to audition for Miss Saigon, and I walked in the door, and it was everybody that just had hired me for Les Mis, and they said, "What are you doing here? We just gave you a lead in Les Mis," and I said, "I just wanted to practice my audition technique." They said, "Great." So I sang my song, and they said, "Now get out of here, go back to California." So it ended up being not the right timing for me. I would have loved to do that show. I think some music in there is beautiful.
Do you, is there a special song like On High that you love performing?
A song I love performing?
Yeah,
Well, you're going to hear a lot of them tonight.
You know, On High, I think the song is called Bring 'Em.
Bring 'Em Home is fun. I like the other two songs even better than Bring 'Em Home. I like the prologue and Who Am I, because that's what I do best. I sing loud and high. My favorite song in the world to sing, though, is the song All the Things You Are. And anytime I have to sing to something, I just start singing that little song for the 30s, and it's a great song for me.
And do you ever do you prefer, like rock musicals to like regular
Classic.
musicals? Like
To perform or listen to?
Like Les Mis or Phantom. Which genre do you like more?
Well, I grew up singing like the Beatles and the Beach Boys and all that, and I remember practicing in my garage as a kid. And I remember singing, and I was singing a few songs, and my neighbor, who was 80 years old, brought his lawn chair out and sat in my driveway, and he listened to me sing, and he goes like this, and I was singing pretty well. And I went over to him, and he said, "Ron, you will never make it as a singer."
Oh, wow.
And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you're singing rock music, and I can understand every word you're saying, and I can't understand anything they're saying, so you sing differently than that, you're never going to make it." And he was kind of right. I do sing pop music well, but there's a certain style that you need for Broadway, and that's where I think I've separated my voice. When I sing just a regular song, I sound pretty regular. In church, I sound pretty regular. But when I do what I do, then I think it's a little bit more special.
Would you ever do a rock musical?
Well, I did do the Civil War, which was Frank Wildhorn. It was kind of poppy, rock, almost country pop. And he hired me for the Scarlet Pimpernel, which I did before the Civil War, because he liked my kind of growl in my voice and in my high notes. So I can do it. It's pretty good, but it's not like they sing on American Idol or they do all those runs. I can't even do what they do. That's a whole other world.
Do you have any advice for the upcoming Broadway stars that are in school right now? What would you say to them?
These are really profound questions. I'll tell you that the rule of thumb I think you learn for Broadway, especially, is how small the community is. I mean, it's really one block between 8th and Broadway, and it's from like 54th to 42nd Street, and it's a really small community. That's the center of Broadway, and it's so important to be nice to everybody.
That's good advice.
And it's important to be likable. I mean, there is a point where you're so well known, I can't go back there and fake I'm 20 anymore. They know my age. They know I'm almost 50. But it's like, they follow you, they know who you are, and if you're really likable, you'll work a really long time. If you kind of buck the system and you're always complaining, there's plenty of people who will take your place. So you got to be nice to everybody. You have to try your hardest, and you have to audition well, because you literally, from the moment you walk in for an audition, you have 10 seconds to impress them and say, "I'm right for this part."
Now, you mentioned earlier that you were going to be in Sweetie with Emma Thompson. You want to talk about that a little more?
Well, it's a two-week process. We rehearse for a week, and then we do the show for 5 performances for PBS. I'm pretty excited. It's with the Philharmonic, with New York Philharmonic, and it's like a stage reading. One of the secrets I'll let your fans in on, because I don't think this will get to the masses.
I love those.
Do you love that show?
I don't know. I love those versions.
You love that version? Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually are going to start the show. We're going to start the show in tuxedos. And then we start singing the first number. We're going to rip off our sleeves, rip off our jackets, rip off our pant legs, and then we're going to be in townspeople clothes. And then we're going to rip off a giant thing in the back wall, and it's going to scare the audience. And that's how we're starting the show. So we're going to sort of accost the audience and fool them. They think it's going to be a real classy concert, but it's going to be a real rough and tumble production. So I'm excited about it. We have to throw her in the oven and all that, so that's going to be fun,
What is we next tonight.
We don't have a piano player, so we have tracks, and sometimes that's better because you have the orchestral sound.
Yeah, I like that too. I do that.
You're gonna hear everything from Mike singing. He's gonna sing my song, "Empty Chairs, Empty Tables." We're gonna do Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis. We're gonna do.
What are you doing on high?
Yeah, we'll do Bring 'Em Home Tonight. Yep. This is the moment.
Anything from Little Shop?
Yeah, your favorite song, Suddenly Seymour. Yes, which I'm excited to see. It's one of the first times we've done this song, but it's gonna be great. And I think you're gonna get it. I think what's gonna happen is I've done a few of these concerts where people expect my wife and I, who are Broadway people, to be at a certain level. But then we bring in people that we've coached and studied with over the years, and you hear them and you're like, they're just as good as you. And that's, in some cases, Mike in some of these songs is much better than me. So it's like, it's great. You're going to see young people in their early teens that are incredible singers. They're the future of Broadway.
I just want to thank you for doing
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. I hope I don't disappoint you. Now the pressure's on.
And up next is your wife.
Yes, she'll be here in a little bit. She was actually getting the kids all ready for bed because my mother-in-law's watching them. And so she's in the car behind me. So she'll be here in a little bit.
Are you doing Suddenly or another person?
Who's doing Suddenly
Singing
Seymour?
Suddenly Seymour.
Oh, my daughter and her friend, yeah. And my wife's we're gonna do The Prayer by Josh Groban and Celine Dion.
I know that.
It's
He
pretty
knows
good.
Celine Dion.
And then we're gonna do a song that you've never heard of before called I Love You and I Hate You, about marriage. And that one's kind of fun. I like
I
that
can't
one.
understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
And All I Ask
Yep.
of You from Phantom, and probably Impossible Dream, and Mike's going to do Anthem from Chess, which is one of my favorite shows, and he's going to do If I Can't Love Her. We're going to do a Beauty and Beast section, a song from Shrek, a song from
Sounds
Beauty and the
terrific.
Beast,
And the hairspray.
and Part of Your World.
How
Yeah.
about Hairspray?
Hairspray. Now we didn't bring the Good Morning Baltimore crowd with us tonight, although we could have. I guess we could have.
Right here.
You're going to have to come see us again next week, up the street in Monroe.
Really?
Because I'm a hairspray fanatic.
Your favorite show?
Hairspray fanatic.
I
I thought the movie was great.
saw hairspray 20 times.
Oh my gosh.
He did see it that often, honestly.
15 on Broadway and then several in little local theaters.
On Broadway, 2 times on tour, and 3 times in the high school.
Wow.
Last for my birthday
Oh.
a year ago,
Oh, that's
I
great.
played corny.
Does Harvey Firestein have a nickname for you?
Cookie.
Cookie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
calls you Cook.
Cookie. He talks like this.
That's exactly how we talk.
Yeah, his brother Ron produced Catered Affair and got to know them really well, and they're really, really great people. They really are.
You said something about Lynn. You were gonna show me the
Oh yeah. I can't really share that with the crowd, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll show you some images before Les Mis opens of the new Les Mis.
Okay, well, is that?
We're done.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Jess.
And up next is your wife, Barbara.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, that's it.